Well, hello there and welcome everybody to this call, the HON SISEL call. It is, what is it anyway? It is September 5th, day after Labor Day, 2017. And I'm so glad each one of you were coming on this call. You're still coming in on the call, the webinar. My name is Donna. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona, and I want to welcome everybody to this very special SISEL call. Just a little bit, I've been a networker. I was an RN a long time, a networker for a long time. But I'll tell you, SISEL is just awesome. I've been in 6 weeks and 1 day today. Now, I had known about SISEL for quite a while. You know, it's in its 11th year. And my friend, Bill DeFalco, who you're going to hear from in a little bit, started calling me about this. It had to have been 6, 7, 8 years ago. He called me several times. And I tell you, I just didn't pay attention. And I thought about it, and I thought, even though his story was, testimonial was unbelievable, I mean, it's just incredible, I thought it was another Me Too company. I kind of looked at it quickly and thought, oh, this is a Me Too, next, and didn't pay any attention. That is until we heard about the age pill. And what I found out after getting involved is SISEL International is anything but a Me Too company. So what I'd like to do is turn this over to my friend, Bill DeFalco. And Bill, thank you. Thank you for sticking with me. I knew you were there. I called him as soon as I was in. Thank you for being there, and thank you for this webinar. There you go, Bill DeFalco.
Thank you, Donna, for that great introduction. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, and thank you, everyone, for coming to the call. Please understand that right now the chat window is going to be in a state of non-use because I'm going to be leading the webinar, and so we will take your questions at the end, so please stand by with us. Appreciate your patience. Wow, over 145 people so far on the call. We've got a packed house here, and people just keep coming on the call. I want to welcome everyone to the call. It's my pleasure to be able to present to you tonight the SISEL International opportunity, your passport to optimal health and wellness, exponential revenue growth, and lifetime residual income. So let's get started with the presentation. Folks, I have 40 years of experience in network marketing, and as Donna told you, both of us have been around the block with network marketing companies, and it was to my great delight that I discovered this company, the great time of my life, not when I was looking for another MLM company or another business opportunity. I was at the peak of my career with General Electric. After completing college degrees in pre-medical studies in electronics, I entered a career that I spent 40 years in the healthcare industry, and I worked in the engineering division in medical diagnostic imaging. I started out in research. I progressed on to field engineering, installing and calibrating, and I finished off my career as a trainer and instructor, as a member of the elite global technical support team for GE. But the problem I had was I was at the top of my career, at the top of my career in that aspect, but my heart health was going downhill. Seriously, I was literally dying of heart disease when I discovered SISEL at age 58 back in August of 2009. And up to that point, I had 32 years of experience in network marketing with products that just weren't delivering any results. My medical blood test showed that things just weren't working for me, but when I discovered this company, I found something so remarkable that I just jumped into it. I made a spectacular recovery from heart disease, amazed my doctors, amazed everyone, and I built a business that now, 8 years later, is poised for a massive growth, as this entire company is poised to see a momentum that will be the largest and the longest lasting momentum growth phase ever experienced in the network marketing industry. So based on my 40 years of experience, I put together the 7 power factors of the SISEL International opportunity. I'd like to run by them real quick before I introduce our special host, our special guest speaker tonight, Tom Mower, the founder of SISEL International. So let's go down to 7 power factors of the SISEL International opportunity. Number 1 is the company. Number 2, infrastructure. Number 3, capitalization. Number 4, products. Number 5, compensation. Number 6, marketing. And number 7, timing. Okay, let's talk about the company. Welcome to SISEL International. Now, folks, it's pronounced like sizzle, as spelled S-I-Z-Z-L-E, but SISEL, our company, is spelled S-I-S-E-L, and that's an acronym that stands for Science, Innovation, Success, Energy, and Longevity. Tom Mower is the founder and chief scientific officer of SISEL International. You will hear from him, Tom, very shortly. Tom has become an icon in the MLM industry. He started out by building the 5th largest network marketing company in the history of the industry, and now he's moved on, and he's created a company that you're going to learn about in these 7 power factors that is unlike anything the industry has ever before seen. Tom Mower and his son, Tom Jr., were recognized by the state of Utah in 2010 and were recipients of Utah Genius Awards based on the many patents that they had filed for the products that they were developing. And folks, I'm talking about products that are the most scientifically advanced products in the world, products that deliver just truly amazing results that were never before possible with any other nutritional products, and I'll talk more about that in a moment, okay? SISEL International right now is celebrating its 11th year in business. The company is uniquely positioned for a record-setting momentum growth phase unlike anything the industry has ever seen that will produce tens of thousands of new millionaires in the years coming. Let's talk about power factor number 2, infrastructure. Folks, what you're looking at is an aerial view of our 440,000 square foot manufacturing plant. I have personally toured this facility, and everyone in SISEL is welcome to attend one of our scheduled red carpet events that they hold throughout each year, where you get to actually see this remarkable facility up close and in person. It will be, I promise you, one of the most exhilarating, exciting experiences you have ever had in your life. Now, what you're looking at, folks, is something that 99%, in fact, over 99% of the companies in MLM that market nutritional products, over 99% of them don't have anything like this. They don't make their products. They are not a manufacturer. They are just resellers. They're just buying somebody else's mediocre nutritional product and putting their own name on it, and they're marking it up and selling it for a lot more than what people can get in the nutritional stores. And when they find that out, they drop out of the company and they go buy the cheaper product, which doesn't work anyway. But, and the cycle goes over and over again. All those companies are built on hype, and they're not built on anything solid like what you see right here in this 440,000 square foot manufacturing plant. Okay, number 3, power factor number 3, capitalization. This is the single most critical part of every company, and it's what determines, what will determine the viability and the longevity of any company and whether or not the company will even survive and prosper. Capitalization is the single most important factor, and it is the reason, it's the main cause of failure among MLM companies. So many of these companies collapse because of insufficient capitalization. You look at the statistics are just staggering. Over 90% of all new MLM startups will fail in the first year. 90% of the survivors fail in the second year. And after the second year, only 1 out of 100 companies will survive, and only 1 out of every, listen to this, folks, I'm kind of tripping over my words, over 1 out of every 10,000 new MLM companies will ever become profitable. Again, the main reason is lack of sufficient capitalization. Now, SISEL International has the strongest and best capitalization of any MLM company in the entire history of the industry. There's never been a company that's come to the table with a bankroll that we have. It's staggering. And starting from the inception, SISEL's massive facility was actually paid for by the personal funds of Tom Mower, who became a self-made billionaire by the time he was 65 when he launched SISEL International back in 2006. He created a subsidiary within a company called Supernaturals. And this company, our subsidiary, generates massive revenue and profits for the company through the manufacturing and private brand labeling of products for big companies, many of the companies, and I'm talking about big ones like Walmart, Target, and Costco. There's no one else in the MLM industry that's doing this, but the significance of this, folks, is that this generates massive revenue for the company. It gives us massive buying power. It enables SISEL International to go out and buy the world's finest, most expensive ingredients, and to buy them in the largest quantities. That gives us, the lowest price point, and enables us to put, these quality ingredients into our products and a concentration you just simply will not find anywhere else. And that's one of the reasons why our products run rings around the competition. Of course, the other reason is the unique formulations and manufacturing processes that are exclusive to SISEL, not to mention our patented formulation and manufacturing processes. Okay, so what we have here truly is a monster. It's something that you've never seen before. It's a company you're going to be proud to be a part of. Let's talk about number 4, the products. Folks, I capitalized all the letters and products because if you don't have a good product, you don't have a good company. I already mentioned that all the other companies are selling products that are made by other companies, and the quality just isn't there and the performance is not there, folks. What we have here are the most sensational products that the world has never before seen. Now, I know that's a big statement, but trust me when I tell you that once you experience these products, you'll fall head over heels in love with this company, and you'll understand why I have built a residual income on a very part-time basis that has been growing and growing month after month, year after year. This is truly a business that you could build for a lifetime. All of the other companies I was in prior to my discovery of SISEL back in August of 2009, 32 years prior to that, all of the other companies I was involved in, I made money with them, but none of them lasted. And the reason why they didn't last is primarily because there was no solidity in the products. The products just weren't there. The performance wasn't there. It was a bunch of hype, and smoke and mirrors. And folks, welcome to the real deal. Our philosophy is to get the toxins out of your daily life with SISEL. Okay, no sodium lauryl sulfate, no methyl parabens, no PEG. Just change over the products you're already buying to SISEL products. People are poisoning themselves with the personal care products they buy in the stores, and they don't even realize it. And SISEL was actually founded on starting with a line of personal care products that don't have the hazardous ingredients and toxic substances that are incorporated into all these popular store brands. So switch over to SISEL, and that's the first line of defense in generating a lifestyle that is free of toxins. And from there, we move on to the advanced super nutraceuticals, the products that changed my life, that cleared up my heart disease, dropped my PSA score so low it impressed my doctors, and enabled me to work out a plan with my doctors, my cardiologists, a 12-month plan to gradually get reduced off all of the medication. And at the end of that 12-month period, because when I came to SISEL, I had already undergone 4 coronary angioplasties over a 12-year period, 6 stents implanted in my heart. I couldn't walk more than 2 miles an hour. But after just 6 weeks on one of these products here, and this is one of my most favorite products, Eternity from SISEL International. This is the only resveratrol product that's ever been formulated that maintains the potency of the resveratrol that SISEL found out in their testing was lost in all of the other resveratrol supplements out there. And after just 6 weeks on this remarkable product, folks, my cholesterol and triglycerides dropped to the lowest level of my 32-year medical history. My doctors were completely impressed, and they were impressed again 4 months later on a subsequent blood test when another product from SISEL, Sequoia Intensified, lowered my PSA score from 3.9 all the way down to 1.9. Again, they were blown away, and I was able to work out a plan to get off all of the medication. And 12 months later, a stress test indicated that not only did I make a tremendous recovery, I made a spectacular recovery that impressed my doctors and actually impressed everyone. Folks, talk about products. The recent introduction of this exciting new product called the Age Pill has literally lit my business on fire. Now, I had built my business up to about where 30 new people a month or about a new person a day was joining my business. Folks, because of this remarkable product, the Age Pill, and you'll hear Tom talking about it shortly, because of this product, it literally has driven the whole company into momentum. And instead of having an average of 32 people a month come into my business, since the last week in July, since this product was introduced, I have over 450 new members on board my team. It's absolutely amazing, folks. The products really are the foundation of this remarkable opportunity. Let's talk about number 5, compensation. Folks, you could take that to the bank. This is the highest paying compensation plan in the history of the network marketing industry. It's a global seamless compensation plan. It lets you get paid not only on all of your teams here in your local countries, but around the world without having to fill out forms and register separately. It's simple. It's easy. I've got people on this call from Australia, from all around the world, from Canada, from the U.S., and this global seamless compensation plan pays all of us real simply right into our back office at the highest percentage rate you'll find in any network marketing company. Number 7, marketing. After all, folks, this is network marketing, and even though we've had some remarkable products up to this point to market, Tom Mower has just literally put gold in our hands. He's busted this program, this opportunity wide open by giving us a product called the Age Pill that has given us a tool to take our marketing efforts to the moon and beyond, folks. This is truly outstanding. This really is the magic bullet that everyone's been waiting for. And I will tell you right now, for those of you who've gotten calls about SISEL years ago and didn't get on board, guess what? You just got on board right now, and those of you who are looking at this and want to come on board right now, folks, this is the best time to come on board because it's taken us a good 10 years to lay our foundation. Most other MLMs that make it to 5 years and go into momentum, well, you can compare those to small buildings. So the foundation is a small foundation. It only takes 4 or 5 years to build, and the building was only about 10, 12 stories tall, and the momentum lasts 24 to 36 months, and the game is over. And then everyone jumps to the next deal. But here, folks, this is different. We're building the tallest skyscraper the industry's ever seen. So it required a much bigger foundation, which, took a lot longer time. Wouldn't you rather be involved with a company that took a lot longer to get its foundation together in preparation for the tallest skyscraper this industry will ever see? In form of a momentum, in the form of a momentum growth phase that's going to last for the next 10 to 20 years, and in the process, generate tens of thousands of new millionaires. This is truly exciting, folks. Timing. Number 7, the last number of my 7 power factors is timing. And folks, at the convention last year in April of 2016, and there's a picture of me up on stage accepting my 4-star Master Distributor Award, and you see I'm shaking hands with Aaron Rennett, and behind me is our guest speaker coming on just momentarily, Tom Mower, the founder of SISEL. And folks, after they gave out all the different star awards, they introduced the Millionaires Club, something for the first time. And so exciting, in order to gain induction, and this is not a contest, folks. This is a Lifetime Achievement Award with SISEL. In order to gain induction to this club, you have to have accumulated a total of $250,000 in your SISEL business. And, folks, at the rate I'm going, I'll be there within the next 4 to 5 months, right, and possibly even sooner. And I am so looking forward to getting inducted into the Millionaires Club. At the convention, they introduced people who earned $250,000. Then the next recognition level was those who earned $500,000. And then those who earned $750,000. And then those who earned $1 million to date with the SISEL business. Folks, it didn't stop there. They gave away awards for those who earned $2 million, $3 million, $4 million, $5 million, $6 million, $7 million. There's a gentleman from Japan who was recognized for earning $8 million in his first 7 years with SISEL. And then Tom got up and said, folks, a couple of dozen people were just inducted into a club that you haven't seen nothing yet, folks, because over the next 10 years and so on, we'll be inducting tens of thousands of people into the Millionaires Club. I will tell you right now, everyone on this call is a prospect for getting inducted into this prestigious club, and you're at the right time in the right place. And right now, folks, it is my pleasure and my honor to introduce the founder of SISEL International, the MLM icon himself, Tom Mower Sr. Tom, are you there?
Yeah, I'm sure here, and I'll tell you what, Bill, just listening to you, you're a much different person than you were last year when you were talking about coming to the conventions. It's really great to hear that. And, I listened to the call that went on last week, at least most of it. I was able to, and I was really impressed by the number of people that were on it and the things they had to say. And the age pill has certainly created a phenomenon. It's more than an anomaly. It's such an exceptional product, and I'm going to talk about that tonight. And I'm going to run through it, and I'm going to talk very fast. You might want to record me. I'm used to talking very fast. I've been married a few times, and I've had to learn to get my words in just as quickly as I could if I wouldn't get anything else to say, if you understand what I'm talking about. And so I'm going to rip with this and tell you with the HP because there's so much to learn and know about it. But here's the thing. You're right, Bill said I started this company when I was 65 years, 10 years ago. How old am I now? Take a guess. And people ask me all the time, how old are you? And I said, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? I think I have dementia. I said, well, I don't know. If you want to know how many years I've lived, I can tell you. But I don't know how old I am because I really don't know how young I am because I'm growing younger every single day. I had my biological age tested a little over a year ago. My biological age was 48. But I know I've gone down a lot further than that. The year before it was 52, year before that was 56. So I went 56, 52, 48. I think probably right now I'm pretty close to 45, but I'm going to get it tested again to find out where I'm at. So what am I doing? I'm growing younger. And I've done this pretty well without the age pill. But the age pill is in a phenomenal position because I've never seen anything in all the years I've been in this business for about 30 years, and I've never seen anything that's caught the excitement the way that this is. And if you heard the testimonies coming on tonight, and if you've seen those that have been on Facebook and those who were on last week, this thing is just, it's like a tsunami, just a giant wave has just suddenly come up. But the nice thing about it is, Bill was absolutely right. There's a lot of one-hit wonders. Look, where's ViSalus? Went clear to a billion-dollar company, went to bankruptcy. Zango, billion-dollar company. Now they sold out to a little piddly-diddly company. There's hardly anything left of them. Mona B, billion-dollar company. They sold out for $10 million, and 5 of that was in stock after doing all of that type of thing. Noni, it's just a shell of what it is, if it was, and people are gone everywhere. That's what happens. They get very big, they fall down. Boy, that when it comes down, it's like Jack and the Beanstalk. When the thing gets cut, it starts coming down. Well, I built the fifth biggest multi-level marketing company ever been built. It was doing about $1 billion a year in the year 2000. What is that today? Probably $2.5 billion a year without any growth. I didn't want to sell it, but I'd gotten a divorce, and it made it so that it was too difficult to go on. And then she remarried, and it made it just so that she had. I gave her half stock. My company. I found I was trying to be fair, but once I did, it became very unfair. So I decided I'm going to go out and start a whole new company because technology is so much more advanced. In fact, I had built the world's largest manufacturing plant in MLM, bigger than anything Amway has or had, and Amway's just built a big one. The industry is raving about 317,000 square feet. That's a big building. But the one I built just before I sold my previous company was 340,000 square feet. And that was the biggest one. And it's now second biggest because the one I built here in Springville is over 400,000 square feet. So why am I building it so big? Because I have vision. I can see the future. Why at 65, when I sold my other company, I made a tremendous amount of money off it. Because I had no debt, I had no partners, there were no shareholders, no dividends, no loans, no leases. I owned property all over the world, and I had done it the hard way. Nobody gave me anything. I mean, I came into this world naked with no teeth and no money, and I'll probably go out the same way, except I think now with the age pill I'll keep all my teeth. But anyway, with this kind of thing, I had a value. I grew up off the farm, and I learned what it was to make a dollar. And we had a little cattle ranch way out of town. Didn't even have indoor plumbing or anything like that, or coal stoves is what we had, and kerosene lanterns for the upstairs, all that type of thing. I wouldn't give that up for anything because it taught me everything you get, how much I appreciate it. So I'm not like a millennial, as this is going to be the first generation they say that's ever going to go down in net worth. Because they've been given everything and they don't know how to do what really needs to be done, and they haven't been taught that in the home. Now, most of us here are not millennials. If you are millennials, you're an exception, and I'll tell you what, you're going to be really exceptional if you go on with this company. Because what I did from nothing is I built the 5th largest multi-level marketing company in the world, and certainly the one that was worth the most. To the founder, because I owned everything, stock and everything. So when you sold it, we come in and I'll just give a little background. I won't take so much because the age pill is a lot more important. When I decided to sell it, the company came in and they offered $1 billion to buy it. And I said, okay, I'm willing to do that. I got half of it because of the divorce. And so I said, well, my marriage is going to cost me, or my divorce is going to cost me $500 million, but I consider it worth every penny. So that wasn't a factor. But they said, what are you going to do now? You can go do anything you want for the rest of your life. You've got that much money to do it. And starting from nothing and selling it for $1 billion and even getting $500 million out of it, I thought, well, that's not bad. So what am I going to do with it? Well, I said, I'm going to keep on in this business because I'm not giving a non-compete. They said, how can you, the founder of this company, sell it without giving a non-compete? I said, because the company is for sale, I'm not. You see, I have a mission in life to do that I firmly believe that I was put here on this earth to accomplish, to help other people to make their lives a lot better because of the things I can do. So I didn't need any money. I had to the lifestyle that I wanted, and if I gave any more, or if I got any more money, it meant no difference to me. So they said, well, we'll give you a $50 million signing bonus. Can you imagine that? $50 million? Sounds like it's in the NBA, doesn't it? And I said, no. They said, how about 60? I said, no. They said, we'll give you $70 million if you'll sign a non-compete on top of this. And I said, no. I said, offer me $1 billion. And they just looked at me, and I said, and the answer would still be no, because it's not going to change my lifestyle. What will change my lifestyle is my inability to do things to help people, because I know what's going to happen to the companies. Just like every other company, you're going to make subpar products, you're going to overhype them, they're going to underperform, and you're going to go out there and misrepresent that kind of thing to people. And you're probably going to change the compensation plan, do a bunch of things like that to make more money for your shareholders. And who are you going to do that at the expense of? The distributors. You see, I'm mission-driven with this thing, and I believe in you. And I'm doing everything in my power to help you to be successful. Now, Bill talked about putting on 10,000 millionaires, or tens of thousands of millionaires in this company. I figured in my previous one I'd put on over 1,000. Now, it's I didn't put them on. They earned it themselves. They took the opportunity. They did it. I understand it, but I made it possible for that. I think tens of thousands is probably conservative. I bet you we can put on 100,000 millionaires around the world before we're done with this kind of thing and what we have going. And we are the perfect storm. We have everything. And all those things that were talked about and outlined today is exactly true. You can come in here and see it for yourself. But the bottom line is all these things that we have, the most modern, the largest manufacturing plant in the entire world, and all of MLM with it. We have a debt-free company. It's huge. It's gigantic. We manufacture our own products and all of those things. We have the most sensational products. Bill's right. The world has never, ever seen before. You know anybody that's got teeth? Well, okay, there's a lot of customers out there because I have a toothpaste that is vastly superior to any other toothpaste you can buy anywhere. Same with mouthwash. But those are everyday things. They're pretty good. But if you're using our other products, you're going to brush your teeth, aren't you? Have you got some hair? Have you not got hair? I got products for both those things, and they really work. But when you shampoo your hair, you brush your teeth, or where you use a bath and shower gel or a baby shampoo or anything else like that, you're loading your body with toxins. You're even putting denaturing proteins in that actually denatures proteins in the brain, in the eyes, and things like this. Shampoo keeps, and toothpaste, and bath and shower gel keeps children's eyes from developing properly. It causes the cataracts that many adults get, and it goes on and on. These products build up, they accumulate, and I listened to Dr. Shaw, I think it was where he was saying on the last year last week, how rare cancer was. Yeah, University of Manchester went out, and they went out and examined over 10,000 mummies around the world to see what they could find in common for health problems. They found out of 10,000 mummies, and they did extensive MRIs and X-rays and all of the things they could do invasively. They found out of 10,000 of them, only one had cancer. So cancer is a man-made disease, essentially. That's what they said, and that's correct. Cancer rates are right off the chart right now. You talk about things like diabetes and things of that nature, especially type 2. What's type 2? Most of them can cure it. They can just lose weight, but we have a society where we don't. So there are a lot of things, and you can see I'm drifting and rambling, but I can tell you so many different things about weight loss. I really got serious about weight loss. I was kind of drifting my way up, and I went from 246 to where I'm 182. That's since last summer, a year ago. I got down to where I was trying to get down to where I was close to 200 pounds, maybe between 205. I'm a fairly tall guy, not terribly tall, but tall enough. And so I thought if I can get between 205 and 200, I'll be pretty happy if I can make it back to there. Well, I did. I made it back to there, and I stabilized pretty good, and then I started on the age pill. I was the world's first customer, if you didn't guess that. I started on the age pill, and inside of less than 2 months, I've lost 23 pounds more. I'm sitting down right now where I'm 182. When I was in the university I was a boxer. That was my fighting weight when I was at the university. I'm right back to it. And I'm still in the fight, only this time I'm fighting for you to help you to have a life that is really wonderful for you. I want to make you happier, healthier, and wealthier. And we have the kind of thing to do it with. But you've got to do it because of all these marvelous things we're talking about. The single most important component in it is you. Everything that we're doing is done for you. The products that we make that are so spectacular are for you to sell, for you to build a business, and for you to do things with your health that you can't do anywhere else. And so we have all of this coming together, but sometimes you need a synergy. You need a catalysm that comes, or a catalyst that makes it all come together, and now the age pill is that. Some of these products, like Bill talked about with Eternity, I found out how to stabilize resveratrol, expensive ingredient, and it doesn't work in all the other products because it's destroyed by the time they get there. But all you have to do is read the science, figure out what it is, what causes it to decay, degenerate, and be useless by the time that it gets to the customer. And I solved all those. That was not that difficult to do, but it was the only company in the entire world that did it with it. So that's a major breakthrough. Fucoidan is called the miracle molecule. It is absolutely unbelievable for supporting all kinds of things and things that I don't even want to talk about on the call because it's so easy to get led into drug claims. And you see some things, the difference between a drug and a product that's not a drug, it's not what it's made of, it's what you say it does. So if you took something very simple like a loaf of bread and you said, this product can cure cancer, it becomes a drug immediately and you can be prosecuted for it. It's that simple. If you, I once made a thigh pill that would, or not a thigh pill, a thigh cream that would remove cellulite. I used the prescription drug aminophylline for asthma. It's in bronchodilators. But I didn't use it for asthma. I made it in a skincare product. So when you rubbed it on the skin, it was a cosmetic ingredient. It wasn't harmful, but it just made fat cells release fat. And that's the way that it worked. And I became worldwide famous on that. I was on about every talk radio, or about every talk show except Oprah. She had a contract with Ultra Slim Fast for weight loss, so I didn't go on her program, violated her contract. But it grew my company tremendously, and I had a few others that grew. I had the first product that would really grow hair, or you wouldn't grow hair, just remove the factor so you could grow hair with my previous company. And then I got with a couple others, and I won't talk about all those major things, but my company went up, 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 and became more and more profitable. The more profitable we were, the better products we could build, the more products we could put on, the higher commissions we could pay. That's the way it works. So I've started this one, and when I started it, well, we actually started at 206, but it really didn't get going until 208, and the big recession hit right at 208 when we were really getting going and had things organized. And they started, the Obama administration started printing money. In other words, if they needed more money, instead of just having it earned come from taxes, they just printed more money. And when they did that, the currency in other countries, the value of it fell so much it destroyed a lot of the market that I had there initially, or damaged it badly. I had a huge amount of products and distributors all through the former Soviet Union, and suddenly a product that cost $20 was now $80, and it happened within just months. That's in real terms. We only got the 20 back, but to the person buying it, the conversion rate was so bad. Japan was the same way, and it went on and on. So we fought this thing, but where many companies failed, we succeeded because we were debt-free and we made our own products. We have more margins in the products. But the margins that we have in the products, we put into the products so that we can build you products that are not better than, they are vastly superior to all others on the earth. And I see to that. And then we try to find the most innovative breakthroughs we can in whatever category we're making something for. Are you concerned about dementia? 100% of you are going to get it, but 100% of you can prevent it, and 100% of you can reverse all or most of it. That sounds like a big deal, doesn't it? How about Alzheimer's? Yeah, about half of us will get Alzheimer's, but nobody has to get Alzheimer's. There's nutritional supplements you can take to where you won't get Alzheimer's. And it's not preventing disease, it's supporting the body's biological systems with the things it needs for the brain. So if you had one organ left, wouldn't you want it to be the brain? And so if everybody gets dementia, half is going to get Alzheimer's. And if the brain shrinks by 25 to 30% by the time you're 75, my age, excuse me, how long I've lived, and my age is is about 45 now. So let me correct that, just for the record. But anyway, you get to my age, 75, you lost about 30% of your brain volume, got dementia, got Alzheimer's. Well, I'll tell you what, if you can hear me on the phone, I don't. You can bet your bippy there's none of that in me, because I know I've been taking these products to support our systems to do it. So those are all exciting things. Those are things you can build a big company on, and we were growing. But a number of years ago, in fact, it's in 1988, and I won't give you the whole details of it on this call. Another time, I went to China because they'd found a discovery in a Ming Dynasty emperor's tomb that was a Taoist, and two men were recorded to have lived on it and some other ingredients. They were pharmacists for the emperors of China, and one of them lived to be 246 years, the other lived to be 239 years, and one was the other's successor. And they have documented records. China has an unbroken history, so since it was never conquered and destroyed, they went back, and it shows where both of them, they had their 150th birthday party was celebrated, and their 200th birthday was celebrated. How would you like to do that if you were in good health? Well, the human genome has been mapped, and science says, well, you can live to be a potential of 150 if your genes are good. If not, 120 to 150 years. Oh, that's your potential to live. But if we die at age 75, what do we die of? Not old age, we die at middle age. But what we do is we die because we have decayed and degenerated to a point where our biology can't keep up with it. And somewhere between 40 and 60, your body is degenerated enough that the disease that kicks in will kill you. It can be diabetes, it can be cancer, it can be heart, it can be lungs, liver, any of those types of things that's going on. That's about when it starts. Because we grow like crazy from a single cell at conception. By the time we're born, we're 10 trillion cells. That's pretty rapid growth, 1 to 10 trillion in 9 months. 9 months. But from then on, the growth is slower, but it's powerful. By the time you peaked out at about 25, you're about 100 trillion cells in your body. So you're 10 times what you were when you were born. Okay, so from then on, the biological processes that grew you slow down or shut off, and now you start, as you're getting bigger, you're making more cells than you're losing. You see, all cells except stem cells within our body are disposed of. Stem cells is like the chicken that lays the egg. It lays an egg, and so a stem cell lets a new cell develop from it, but it does it because its stem cell is a little bit different. It duplicates itself, but it has telomeres, and they are depleted as you make more cells over a period of lifetime. So they started talking about biological age in terms of telomere units. You can count them. You got about you have 15,000 at conception. By the time you're born, you're down to 10,000. By the time you're 25, you're still at 10,000 because it's rebuilding telomere units as fast as you're using them. But after that, it and stem cell duplication and factors like that start going down by 8 to 10% every 10 years. So with that, you're talking about a decrease when your cells have reached the maximum. Now you're going to lose 8 to 10% of them. You're going to lose 8% of your 8 to 10% of your biology, and it's going to continue on until death. So as your telomere units go down, they say, well, when you get down to 6,000, that's about the point you can look to die. Somewhere at 6,000 or below, you die. And you die because the cells just can't keep up to keep healthy and to fight the diseases and all the other things, which it's doing anyway. And so I tell them, when you get down to 65 or 70, your telomere units get down to about 6,000, it's time to put jam in your pockets because you're toast. You're going. But if you build them and didn't lose them from birth to 25, and then you lose them from 25 to 75, which is about the average age where a person dies, and what's happened? And think of that in 10-year increments. 25 to 35 to 45 to 55, 65, 75. Okay, you're down about your 40 to 50% of your body mass is gone. You might be fatter, but 40 to 50% of your body mass is gone. Your skin and bones, your brain's shrunk by about 25 to 30%. So is your liver, your heart's being damaged, and all of those kinds of things are happening to you because your cells are slowing down. That stem cell that's producing lots of new cells, just like a young chicken, it starts slowing down. And it goes, buck, 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 buck. That's what happens, scientifically speaking. And if you understand that, the FDA understands it. They say aging is not a disease. Nobody dies of old age. You might die of something that's complications to how long you've lived that has kicked in, but that's still aging is just decay and degeneration. So here's the theory, and the Chinese thought of it over 5,000 years ago, and when they wrote about it in the Yellow Emperor's book. And I appreciate what some of the people that knew me and the things I do. I have a God-given mind that is really good, that allows me to understand things, to retain them, to put them together and do it. And I use it. I use it for developing new things for you and discoveries and all those kinds of things. And I thrill doing it because it's the love of helping people. And I really do. I'm genuinely doing this business for you. That's why I wouldn't sign a non-compete with this thing, because I didn't want to now have these kind of products that I could discover and put together that I knew no one else would because of the economic cost. But I had the perfect storm to do it because I make products. I make products for about 40 different MLMs, and 2 of the 3 biggest MLMs in the world I've made products for. And I make hundreds of products for about 40 companies. I make thousands of products for many other companies. Walmart, you heard it on the call last week. Walmart, Costco, GNC stores, Walgreens, goes on and on. Make lots of products. I'll tell you what, you can take those thousands of products that I make for other companies. I wouldn't put one of them in the SISEL line. And certainly I don't really get involved with that aspect of it. But I'll tell you one thing, it makes profit, it pays the bills, and what it does is allow me to buy these extremely expensive ingredients. Plus, we're marking them at 300-400% to sell them wholesale to these people. So I take that 300 to 400%. I take the profit that I've made off these other companies, and it gives me lots of money to be able to take a formulation and to build it the way that it should be done, and I do it. And then I'll use more ingredients. I'll use higher concentrations. I'll use the types of ingredients that companies can't even afford to begin to do. There's not an MLM that I know of that is using this one ingredient, which we have in the age pill, which is getting a lot of publicity. NASA says it'll allow us to send a person to Mars now. Well, how does an ingredient allow you to send them to Mars? Well, it speeds up the energy within the stem cells, which are producing new cells to replace the ones that are lost. But solar radiation is so bad. If you send somebody out for 5 or 6 months into space, they come back, they've aged 5 years, and 100% of them is going to get cancer. That's the rate. They send somebody out on a Mars mission, which has got to be 5 or 6 years, nobody comes back. And that's the whole thing. So you wonder why they're not going to Mars after they went to the moon 50 years ago? Well, that's the reason why, is because nobody comes back with it. But now they found out with this from Dr. Sinclair that Dr. Shaw was talking about. Brilliant research. He's the one that found resveratrol. He went out and found resveratrol did a lot, but it was incomplete. And so he tried to find out what else could be done. He made a discovery that had been discovered. And I've been following this thing forward since 1988 and building some products that were as good as what science would allow us to know about them. But now we've had, within the last 4 or 5 years, major breakthroughs in it. No one's really on it. There's a couple companies selling a little of this one ingredient, and they use like 100 milligrams a dose or 200. And that's a blip on the radar. That's when it starts. But it's so rotten expensive, that's the best they're ever going to do, and they're making exaggerated claims. What you really need is 1,000 milligrams of it, and that's what we've got in ours. And then we also have our body so that it can produce it. Your body's producing it anyway. This is a natural process that's going on. So if we can feed the ingredients that feeds the stem cell, supports its biological functions, the natural ones that are occurring, guess what you can do? You can speed up energy in the cell. You can speed up cell duplication rate. You don't speed it up. The cell speeds it up. It's just like putting your foot on the gas pedal, and if you hold it down a little bit, you can go 20 miles an hour, push it a little more, you go 30, 40, 50, push it way down, you can go 80, 90, 100 if you want to on that kind of thing. How far do you want to push it down? And that's just how fast you go. Well, it's the same thing with the stem cells. how much damage do they have over a year, over the years, the decades, a lifetime of metabolizing materials and making new stem cells? They pretty well get worn out, and they get full of all kinds of cellular garbage, and they get like plaque in your teeth. They get plaqued up with glycation. All that slows it right down. Now you can come in and speed it up, but if it's still been corroded, eroded, oxidized, all those things, DNA damage, all of that, then you're going to do better. But how about if you cleaned out those cells? They're already trying to clean themselves out, and they're already trying to remove the plaque. The cellular sludge that builds up is removed by enzymes, but they start getting broken down. There's not so many produced as you get older, so you fill up with this sludge, and cells go from a clear color to a brownish yellow color at the last, and they hardly function. Then stem cells go dormant. Then stem cells die. Then the stem cells that are still working are working sluggishly. They're down to, when you get in your 70s, your stem cells are working at 20 to 30% of what they were when you were 20. So you've got all those factors. So I took a look at this, and I thank Dr. Shaw for him understanding the kinds of things I've done with this product. I've made a lot of products in my lifetime. This is by far the most complex that I have ever made, and I worked on it for a long time. I got pretty serious on it about a year and a half ago when the last major breakthrough that I thought came through, which actually isn't for stimulating the energy, it's for lipofuscin removal, the cellular garbage. How can you get things to work if nutrients and biological processes have to go through sludgy gunk that's full of toxins? And that's the truth. When I saw that, that was the missing link. I had that. I knew how to remove glycation, the plaque. And now, if I could clean the cell out, what can the cell do? The cell cleans it out by itself. I just give it the nutrients, natural ones, that there, so it supports the system that removes plaque, that removes lipofuscin, and it can do it on a scale now to where it can keep up with it. We've not created a structure-function change. We've simply fed it with these super nutrients that we have special kinds, an array of them, because one doesn't do it. You need a number of, all those systems to do it. And the cells go to work because now they've got what it needs. They clean themselves up. It's like changing the oil in your engine. It's like tuning it up. And then along comes these ingredients that power up the energy molecule in the stem cell. And it goes through a cycle. And where it comes is, it all comes from the sun. There's no life on Earth that'd be here on Earth if it wasn't for the sun. It sends down solar radiation with hydrogen. Hydrogen is the most powerful molecule in the universe, the most abundant, and as solar radiation hits plants, the chlorophyll separates it off, puts it into a chemical energy. And then through the chain of plants and animals eating plants or animal themselves, this hydrogen gets changed in chemical form. But like Einstein said, energy can never be lost or destroyed. It can only be changed. It's always there, but it might be in one form or another, and that's exactly what happens. So you have solar radiation to chemical radiation, solar radiation with hydrogen, which is solar energy, converted to chemical energy by plants, converted to another form of chemical energy by animals, and as it gets through the section, the whole session changing forms from time to time, it gets into the stem cell and the regular cells too, and when that happens, it goes through a process that energizes the cell, but the end result is it goes into the mitochondria, and maybe some of you have heard of ATP, and perhaps people saying coenzyme Q10 increases ATP. Yeah, it does. It's very important for energy. But mitochondria are like a car engine. You have thousands of them in your cells, and they're working all the time to take in oxygen and sugar, explode it like gasoline explodes in a car, creates the energy, but what comes out of that explosion? What comes out of it is hydrogen. And the hydrogen that originally came from the sun is released by the mitochondria, and it creates electrical energy, and that's what runs you. So in a nutshell, that's how this product works. Solar radiation to chemical, solar energy to chemical energy in plants, to chemical energy forms in animals and humans, converted to hydrogen, converted to electrical energy, and we run by electrical energy. So if we can boost up the production of that hydrogen, that ATP that's coming out of the mitochondria, we get more electrical energy, and guess what happens? Everything. Because the cells have the ability within themselves to repair. If you're young and you get a cut, look how fast it heals. If you're older and you get a cut or a bruise, look how slow it takes. It's all due to stem cells that are there, and if your stem cells are running 20, 30, or 40% of what they were when you're 20, no wonder it takes us so long to get over injuries and things like that. And if we've lost so many cells, if you're sitting down there at age 60 and you've lost 40% of all your cells, your body mass, how are you going to keep up with things and health and all of that? So what's the magic thing that makes it happen? There's no magic. This is a God-given design. It's how we work. It's how all animals work. In fact, it's this process that we're talking about. It's been tested all through animals. They took all the old animals in all the studies they did, and within a very short period of time, many of them became indistinguishable from the young animals. They looked at the stem cells, old, wrinkled, full of cellular sludge and buildup and not functioning and dormant and dying. And when they could repair them in animal, or when they put these things in, the animal systems could produce more new cells, could repair the old cells, could take dormant ones and make them reactive. And within a short period of time in their animal studies, those cells that were old, from old like old mice, rats, rabbits, any of those types of things, they were indistinguishable from the stem cells that young animals had. And they grew back in time. Gray hair went away, eyesight came back, brain size and volume and organs and skin and hair and nails and muscles all returned. And so now they're doing human tests on it right now. And while they're not complete, I can tell you the ones that I have seen and what is going on, they're patterned. It's not a mammal. A reptile, a bird has the same type of thing too. This process is universal. So what we're seeing in human beings is the same kind of thing, especially in some. And in human beings, the first thing they found out is you took it for a certain period of time, and all the biological factors you had when you're age 20 are functioning at that level again. They might be functioning, you might be 50 and they're off because of so much damage, they're functioning like you're 60 or 70, that kind of thing. But within a very short period of time, just a few months, the biological factors, we estimate, we theorize, will be operating like when you were 20 again. If it's operating like you're 20 again and you've cleaned up all the stem cells, if the stem cells have ability to repair themselves, if they have the proper support nutrients for it, if the stem cells have the ability to repair the mitochondria does, which they do, they have their own DNA, different than even the nucleus, then if they can repair themselves, they can also generate more new mitochondria. And that was just recent in science, only known that in the last couple of years that that's happened. What is new mitochondria? Energy engines. And so in animal studies it showed you would make as many as 3 or 4 times more new mitochondria. All the old wearing out ones were running like new. They'd been overhauled. Stem cells the same way, and they say we can't produce a new stem cell. Well, that's history now in science, because they found out that stem cells can be duplicated, and they can produce more of them. In fact, it's more than you may have had even when you were born and grew you. That is the potential that's there, but how do you get it? Not through a medicine. You get it through very powerful, well, they call it complementary medicine, natural medicine, if you will, that feeds the system that's already there, that supports it with this type of nutrition to empower it. And you start growing younger as you produce more new cells. That's the difference. If the Chinese said in the Yellow Emperor's book, a person has the ability to live to a very old age if you can remove the toxins and provide the nutrition that it needs to do it with. Well, they're right. And that's why these Chinese, Lai Shizhen and the other Ming Cheng Zhu, they lived almost 250 years. But the potential is 150. So how did they get past that by 100 years? Well, I think it's because another ingredient I found when I went over there actually supports the rebuilding of telomere units. They're the ones that give up some of themselves to make new cells, and you lose more and more and more, and everything slows down. But there's a way, the stem cells are rebuilding the telomeres, but they're doing it slower than they're losing them as you're getting older, and so it slows down. But we can rewind that rubber band in it, just like in an airplane. You can throw a glider and it goes out there and glides and falls somewhere. You remember the little bolts and planes. But if you put one on with a propeller and you put a rubber band on it, you wind it up and you let it go and it shoots way out there. But as the band unwinds, it starts to go down and crashes. Well, how about if you keep that rubber band wound tight all the time? Some mechanism kept that going so that propeller would never quit what would go on with that plane? It would go on and on and on. And that's what I theorize, in my opinion. I have to say these things because they've not been, they're a hypothesis, but they're based by the science that I know and the conclusions that or opinions that I'm making. So if you could rebuild your telomeres so it's like that rubber band so they just didn't wear out, the 150-year level is just a milestone in your lifespan. And I think there are people born in here in this earth today that are going to live 200-300 years. I don't know if I'm one of them, but I'm going to work darn hard to get between 150 and 200 where I'm at, and I think I can do it. I'm younger, I'm stronger, I feel, my God, I'm perkier than a rotten buck is how we say it out here. I am ready to go. I wake up every morning. I sleep about 6-7 hours. Since this age pill come off, I mean, how did I lose 23 pounds in 2 months? I just burned it off with metabolism. That was what was happening. Of course, if you want to be legal about weight loss, you have to say you reduce calories. Okay, I didn't eat as much. Or you do a little exercise. Yeah, I did a little bit more. But the real thing is I couldn't get below that, and suddenly, wham, 2 months I'm down to 182 pounds. What from? The age pill. Because my metabolism, when I was so young, I was skinny as a rail and I eat like a horse. That changes in life. But now I'm back to where that's at. And you see people all over that are that way. I bet you've got 300 people on the call now. You're just hearing binging on all the time, getting on this call, because this thing is turning into a wild runaway. And the beautiful thing about this, and I don't know who said it, I think maybe it was Bill, but they were saying, you see a lot of products, but this is the first one that really sees work. Well, I've got some that work, but the one thing about it, I mean, I can give you an energy drink that gives you a lot of energy for about half a day. Some of them so you can exercise at a higher level. Some of them that builds nitric oxide in it, and boy, does that help with repair and regeneration and more long-term energy. But the age pill is in a whole different dimension. It's like a meteorite that comes from out of nowhere, and it's just broadsiding this health issues that we have around the world because it can support the regrowth of more new stem cells, more new cells than what you're losing. And it supports the whole internal mechanism, which is already working. You're just putting the pedal down on it by putting these super nutrients in it so it can speed right up. When it speeds right up, it has self-repair, its duplication rate goes up, and away you go. And if you want to build some telomeres on with our TSX, what is your potential lifespan? I don't know, but it's got to be incredible. So we've got these combinations going, but the age pill is the big one. And the big thing about it, I took our TSX, and over a period of time, I knew I was feeling better. I knew I was rebuilding telomeres. I was having them counted. There was more of them being produced, but it didn't give me a big burst of anything. But I felt okay. I felt better, and I was taking the other things, and I was improving, and my biological age was going down. And then wham, in comes the stem pill, the stem cell pill, the age pill, and within just days I'm thinking, what is this? You know how some days when you wake up and you think, boy, I'm so full of energy I can do anything? And I've had days like that through my life. Now that I have them every single day, and it's only been a few months. I wake up in the morning, I'm ready to go. I don't want to lay in. I'm full of energy. I get outside. I come to work and I think, wow, it feels so good. This feels like one of those best days of my life. But now it's happening every single day. And it's happening with other people too. They can see it. Some people are seeing it 2 and 3 days. I think I was 4 or 5 maybe before I started to feel it. But boy, when I did, it's undeniable. And now today, I told my son, I said, I am getting so strong and so young and he looks at me like I'm nuts because it's only been a few months, but I can't deny it. I'm not a person that gets hyped out about things. There's no placebo effect with me. What I feel is real. And so I don't psych myself out on these things, but I can tell you right now, this is not psych. This is not hype. This is not like these other companies that say their products can do something which is impossible for them to do it. This product has got the ingredients that are proven. We can't make all those claims on it because when you put them together in a formula, the FDA says, well, it has to be tested according to our protocol. That sounds simple, but it takes about 15 years and costs about $2 billion to get that done, make those claims. You want to wait or you want it right now? And we can show you the science so you can see how it works. But the nice thing about this, you don't have to take it and then a few months down the road, yeah, I think my allergies got better. Yeah, I believe I have a little more energy. No, this thing comes in and like a meteorite from out of nowhere, as I said it was, it broadsides you and your health starts regenerating. Your energy starts coming up. You start feeling it within your body. And now we're seeing things that are shocking me, but it showed in the animal studies. I mean, you produce hair, don't you? And hair has color. Well, it falls off as you get older. The color does, and so does hair. And now we got pictures all over the place, almost all women, some men, that are in there, dramatic ones, of where all these dark hairs where they've been gray for 10 and 20 years, now they have all this dark hair growing again. That is just the tip of the iceberg. Underneath that hair throughout your entire body, it's happening everywhere. I had somebody the other day say to me, well, what happens if you take it for a while and it's not working? You know, if you go on this thing for a while and it doesn't work, what happens? What do you do then? I said, I don't know what to do to tell you what to do then, because in my opinion, and this is my opinion, it's impossible for it not to. This product is going to feed your biological systems, and unless you have something really serious it's damaging you and maybe going to kill you or poisoned or something like that. Other than that, I think it's utterly impossible for it not to work. So that's not a question that's relevant. That's how I feel about it. So now you can see I've talked for a long time. We're here at the top of the hour. When you come in, it's a long time to listen to a call. But let me tell you this, in recap, I've never seen a product that so many people are jumping on so fast. And I've got distributors all over. There's a distributor this weekend picked up 41 new distributors. I think Daphne from up in Canada has picked up a huge number and sold, if I heard right, it was $15,000 worth of product over the weekend. And I have distributors all over saying, I've never had anybody ever coming to me wanting to buy the product, and now people from nowhere that I've never met are contacting me and wanting to buy it because it's just in its infancy. It's getting around, it's growing so fast, and when people see this, it's like, as some of you had said on the call, well, I've been in MLMs, and I thought I'd never do one again, and I tried these products, and they really didn't work. This is undeniably spectacular. This thing does work, and it does work in days, and the longer you take it, it becomes absolutely undeniable. It's there, and it's there with you every day. You're feeling greater, younger, stronger, more energetic. Your thought processes improve. Your vision can improve or not go away, and hearing and hair and skin and nails, all of that. And it's as simple. You have it right in your palm of your hand. Just take 3 of those twice a day, and your body will be fed with enough to create all of that, or to support all of that activity that's going on throughout your body. Now, I recommend when you first go on it for the first 2 months that you double up. If you double up, then the animal study showed that the restoration was so great because more is better in this case. You can get to a certain point something where more isn't, but with this, if you double up for about 2 months, and we're seeing it with lots of people, it's happening with it, then it's pushing the pedal down more. It gives more fuel to remove more cellular sludge, to remove glycation more efficiently. It's happening anyway, but now you're putting the pedal in the middle down. And the energy, oh my God, and you want to put it out twice a day so you keep it in your system because it's pretty well going out by 12 hours. Take it again, goes on for another 12 hours. If you really want to do it, take it 3 times a day. If I took 3 or 4 tablets 3 times a day, my God, I don't know what you'd be. You'd be King Kong, Godzilla. Your body would rebuild, become so strong. But you do that, and once you're on it, if you're on 6 pills for a day, you can take 3 and 3 or 2, 2, 2, whatever works for you. If it was me and I could remember to take them at noon, I'd take 2, 2, 2. That'd be my choice. But what it's going to do, you've got your life now, your lifetime, your health, your condition, your longevity, your energy, your heart, your brain, your skin, your hair, all of those things we're talking about in the palm of your hand just by putting these capsules in it and putting them in your mouth. That's how simple it is. This isn't rocket science, although it's going to be used for rocket science, but this is great science. This is the science that's too expensive to use, too extensive for people to think of, incomprehensible to try because of the costs, And I've solved all those equations before I brought this product out because of the facility I've got, the low cost, the debt-free, the dynamics in doing it, and the marketing plan is spectacular for you making money. We're going to put some real improvements in it come October 1st to make it even easier for you and to pay it even more for you. And the website just being done now, it's so superb. And the back office is magnificent for running your business. You got everything you need now to make yourself successful. So now you have a right to choose. You can choose. Choose to do nothing, grow older, faster, by 8 to 10% every 10 years until you die at middle age. But the last 10 years or so of your life might be spent in some miserable nursing home or assisted living home. Or if you choose to use, what could it be? Could it be when you're 80, you're like 30? When you're 100, you're like 35? I don't know, but the potential is really there, and I truly think that's going to happen. If you sit there and right now you're 60, would you settle with 30? I think you would. If you're 70, would you settle for 40? We're talking about things like that as a possibility, but time will tell. It's not been tested for it. That's a long time. In animals, lifespans are shorter, but they're finding out they're doubling their lifespan. They took mice that died at 2 years, and they were right on death's door, and they this is just the one compound that gave them the energy. Within 2 months, they were functioning the same way that young mice were. And within less than a year, they were, where they should have all been dead, they were indistinguishable from the young mice. So then they put them on a treadmill. The mice that were young had the same feed and everything as the others did, except they didn't have this one ingredient. The mice on the treadmill, the old mice that were 3 years that should have been dead a year before, and the young mice that were just like 5 and 6 months old were both put on treadmills, and the older mice could go twice as far or long as the others could, and at a much higher level of exercise. And the recovery was about 3 times faster. That's all for one ingredient in the age pill, and I got some better than what that one is in it too. And I don't want to let it all out right now. And when we get into it, eventually I will, but it's stunning what this is. This thing has got so much power. I've never seen anything like it. And the thing that's shocking me most is how shocked I am that what's happening to me. I've had good feelings. I've done good things with products and all that, but I've never felt anything like this in my entire life. And I'm not hyped out, but I am hyped up because this product is working far beyond what I ever thought it would. I thought it would be great because I saw the studies, but you see it on paper. That's one thing. You feel it in your body. That's another. I'm a new you. Who am I? I'm younger than I was. What am I going to be? A lot more than I ever could be. What kind of a life am I going to live? One that's extremely healthy instead of deteriorating in age and that. Do I want my muscles to be like they were in their 20s? Yeah, it's as easy as popping these capsules in my mouth every single day, and they'll return to same size, shape, definition, or essentially close to it by doing that. Now tell me, does it get any better than that? I don't know what could. So you can see why this thing is it's just about not quite 6 weeks, exploding into growth. All over the world, especially the United States, we grew 30% in 1 month. 30%, can you believe that? Companies would love to do that over a 4 or 5 year period. We did it in 1 month. What are we going to grow this next month? Man, we run back order twice. Now we're producing enough we thought would last a year, and that's our run that'll be done, I think, tomorrow with that one because we went back order again. We produced a month's worth, we back order in 5 days. We then went, based on that, we thought, well, we'll produce another month's worth based on the sales. We're out in 10 days. Now we're out. Now we're going to build enough that we think will be a year, and we think it's going to last us 2 weeks. That's the kind of growth. So when you look at this thing, what are we going to do? We're going to give tens of millions of people health, wealth, and prosperity, and we're going to give maybe 100,000 or more the chance to become a millionaire or a multimillionaire. One person that's with me that Bill talked about, and I'll just do this in closing, Mr. Yamamoto from Japan, he was with me at another company. He earned $8 million in this company, and he earned about $24 million in the other. So he's in his career, he's earned $32 million with me. There's a lot of people out there who can use that, earn that kind of money in their life because our payout's so generous and these products are so spectacular. And if you use the age pill, are you going to shampoo? You're going to shave? You're going to brush your teeth? You're going to bathe? You're going to do all those kinds of things? We got it all for you. Non-toxic and spectacular in performance, but those are support products, and this one is the super nuke. This is the greatest product in the history of human health, in my opinion, and without doubt, in my opinion, this is the single greatest product ever to be introduced in the history of multi-level marketing, and you alone have it. And it's already a wildfire. So jump on, don't wait. Get your rear in high gear, get going, build the life, the health, the future for you and all those loved ones around you, friends, neighbors, and people you don't even know. And you'll be doing a great thing too. And who will be the biggest beneficiary of it? Well, the way I look at it, everybody you can help, because you're going to be right at the top and you're going to try and bring everybody right up to that too. And it's going to happen by the tens of millions. But now's the beginning. You're here, so get going. Well, that's enough for tonight for me. But you can see I'm fired up. I'm ready to go. I hope you, well, you are too. We got probably, I bet we've got 300 people on the call tonight. And where will it be? Another month or so, maybe 1,000 or thousands calls over. That's how it's growing. So get out there. Right now, you got the biggest chance. The window is widest that it'll ever be in opportunity. And so go out and get it right now. Run like crazy, because there's so much to be gained. And the more you do right now, the more you'll have as this thing grows exponentially over the years. Anyway, back to you, Bill, or whoever's in charge. It was nice to be on and get a chance to talk to you tonight, and I hope to look forward to doing it again before too long.
Well, Tom, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight. That was sensational. It has been recorded. I will send you the link to it when it's done, and so that many, many more people coming forward can experience this tremendous. Gentlemen, get back to the person who invited you to this call to learn more about how you can become a part of this phenomenon, this wealth-building phenomenon called SISEL International. I want to thank my co-host, Donna. If you're still there, you can say hello and goodbye to everybody.
I am. Great call. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna, and thank you, everyone, for being here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to call it a wrap. It's run quite long enough right now, so tune in next week, by the way. Next Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, Dr. Jerry Shaw will be our guest speaker, and you definitely want to hear what he has to share with you. That's going to be another tremendous call. Thanks again, everybody, and have a great night. Good night, everyone.